I think just learning the little things in basketball and outside of basketball, like how to navigate this life. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to get right now, and just taking away the coach's thoughts every single day.
Welcome back, guys, to episode 4 of the Glass House Hoops podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jalynn Gregory.
And I'm your other one, Tamia Scott, alongside our guests, Jada Harrison and Savannah Davis.
So, first up, Jada. So, obviously, you had an injury last year. What is that like coming back? Like, last year you had a bunch of mental reps, and this year you're coming into having physical reps. And what has that process been like for you?
To be honest, a whole different ball game, because mentally you're seeing it versus actually doing it. It's way, way different. And then I just got to trust my body to be able to do whatever the coaches asked me to do. So it's a different ball game. It's a lot harder.
Yeah, I'm sure. And just like go off in that, like you sat on the sidelines and kind of just watched mentally. Like, how did that, having people like Savannah here before, like how did that help you be prepared this year to be able to get those physical reps?
The speed, just watching the speed of the game and, watching the plays and everything and how much movement there is versus high school where there's not as much movement. Just kind of familiarizing myself with that a little bit.
Talking about high school, you were a Miss Basketball finalist and also Miss Basketball winner, both of you. So can you just talk about how that happened and just the experience of it?
You want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. Obviously, it wasn't easy, and I credit my teammates with that because I couldn't have done it without them. But just being a leader, most importantly, just being a leader, and we were number one throughout the whole season. And, just staying level-headed and not letting the rat poison get to us. Just staying level-headed.
What was the experience like winning Miss Basketball?
It was exciting for sure, but like she said, just kind of going off like my teammates, they taught me how to be a leader on the court when we didn't have like those good nights where we lost. But ultimately, that was fun. But I think the most exciting thing for me in high school was just winning the 2 state championships. That was a pretty big moment for me. It's something I'll remember for forever. So, yeah.
Nice. Since we're talking about high school, I didn't know this, but you played softball.
And
you were pretty good. So, did you ever consider like staying with softball or like so you played throughout high school? Mm-hmm. Okay, so did you ever consider like playing softball in college?
Well, yeah, when I was younger, I was I was such a big advocate for like softball, and I was going to play in college. And I was also playing basketball at the time, so I was doing travel softball and travel basketball. Oh, yeah. So I came to a point where I had to decide, like, what am I going to do? And I was like, okay, I just had to sit down with my parents, and I was like, what's going on? Like, I need y'all's advice. Like, what am I going to do? And I just came down to basketball. It's just something I love and something I grew up doing, so chose it.
Nice. I love that. Jada, did you play any other sports other than basketball?
Oh, well, growing up, I kind of tried to play softball and soccer, and none of them really just touched my heart like basketball. So I just felt that I should just stick with one sport rather than veering off into other sports. I was best at basketball, so I just put all my time and energy into basketball because I was better at it.
Yeah. Speaking about like loving the game, I feel like personally you have to really love the game to be able to play in college basketball. Mm-hmm. If you don't enjoy what you're doing and enjoy the people that you're around, it's going to be a lot harder than it should be. And so I think really just loving the game and knowing and finding that love when you do lose it a little bit is very important to keep.
I agree. Like, I can have hard days here, but it's just like I have to come down and sit at night, and I'm like, I have to remember, like, why I chose this. Mm-hmm. Like, I go back to when I did choose basketball over softball, and it's like I want to be happy for that little girl. Like, I want to do this and that for her, and I have to remember why I chose to continue this. I think that's very important for me.
Yeah, and that's what the pros even preach, is just finding your why, and that's what you do it for, because it's a mental toughness. Basketball is, any sport really, but just being a really high-level athlete, you just have to find that why. And so I'm really excited that you said that.
Yeah. But you also, I'm friends with Shelby, so, but your sister's here. And so was that one of the things that made you, like, a little bit more of a thing that you kept in the back of your mind when you were thinking about where you're committing to?
I could say no to that, but ultimately I would say yes because, okay, I did sit down and I was like, I need to find the place for me. I prayed about it and God led me here, but there was that little part in the back of my mind that was like, I'm going to have that familiar face. She's my best friend, so it's like, do I want to be there with her? And I think I made the right choice. Well, I know I made the right choice of being here, and seeing her every single day does help that. Yeah. So,
sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know with both of you just coming in. Jade, I know you've been here a little bit longer, but you're still technically a freshman. So what is this what you guys expected college basketball to be, like the expectations of it? And that can be like how fun it is or how tough it is. Is it just what you expected?
I'm gonna go with the tough part. It's a whole lot tougher than I thought it would be, but I wouldn't be here if I couldn't handle it. But it is, and it's fun. It's fun. Like Coach Matt says, it's a kid's game. So you got to make the most of it, enjoy it the best you can. And then there's a time for work and there's a time to have fun.
Yeah, I'd say it was expected, but it's a little more difficult than expected. People always tell me, they're like, it's a whole different ball game. Like, you can like do this in high school and get away with it, but when you come to college, it's different. And it definitely is. And I think I was ready for that, but just like mentally, just reminding myself that it is okay for difference, and I'd say that it is different.
Yeah, and I listened to y'all's radio show last night, so I probably know what the answer to this question is going to be. But what's something y'all feel like y'all can work on throughout the rest of this season and then carry it on into the next couple seasons?
Yeah,
you know my
answer is defense. For sure. I think just not so I can get better at it, but just like so our team can progress as a whole, because obviously defense does win ball games, and we've stepped that up the past 2 weeks. So that just is a very evident example of that. So I think just progressing that for the team.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go with defense too, and just finding that level of comfort that I've always had, and that being injured I kind of got away from. Just being more comfortable. I mean, I'm familiar with the game. I've played it. I mean, we all have. It's just, but when you're hurt and when you're away from it a little bit, you got to keep it in your mind. You got to fuel your mind with basketball. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I just got to get back comfortable being myself and in my body.
Yeah, and defense is a lot of communicating, and it's not just on one person. Yeah. It takes the whole team to be able to guard and finish, play a whole game. And so I think that's something to always remember, that you can't, yes, you have your part that you have to take responsibility of on the court, but it's also you have your teammates there also helping you guard that one person, you know? So I think just taking a breath sometimes and just, playing instead of trying to overthink everything.
Mm-hmm. And y'all are both pretty good defensive players. So is it like y'all had to learn that, or we're struggling right now a little bit? Did y'all have trouble coming with the good defense?
Yeah. So my freshman year, honestly, probably what got me on the floor was defense. Of course I could shoot, but offensively was kind of in the back of my mind. What got me to where I am now is because every single day I came out there, and no matter how many mistakes I made, I just played hard throughout the whole thing. I might have made a mistake in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock, but because I played hard the rest of that time, I hustled myself back into those positions to cover up for my mistakes. And I also had people around me that are going to help cover up for my mistakes. Mm-hmm. And so because they know that I'm trying to learn, but the thing that helped carry all of us was because we each knew we were going to play as hard as we could in that 24 seconds or in that whole game. We're going to give it all we got. We may make a mistake here and there, but we know that we're leaving it all out there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, with me, it's just more so the want to, honestly. Mm-hmm. Y'all hear the coaches always. but they're right. I mean, everything they say is right. And it's me, it's in me, and I just have to want to enough. And I have been lately, but I just want y'all to hear it from me verbally, because I don't really say it a lot, but coming from a junior, do it now so you don't regret doing it later, because it's you're going to think back, I could have done it my freshman year if I really wanted it enough. I could have been in this place that I'm right now my freshman year if I wanted it enough, but I didn't. So I'm just kind of realizing that now. So I just want to let y'all know, especially like with the future of this program, just want it enough now so you don't regret it later. And it's not that I don't regret it. It's just that I'm realizing it now. And it's just kind of opened my eyes up. So I just want y'all to open your eyes up like right now so you don't get to where I am junior year knowing you could have been even better.
But yeah, since we're talking a little bit about some things different, let's switch it to off the court. So what are some things that y'all enjoy off the court?
I enjoy watching movies. I'm a big movie person.
What kind of movies?
I'm going to have to go with romance.
I agree with you on that one. I like rom-coms.
So I like doing that. And then I like to nap. I don't know if that's a good answer, but I like to nap.
As an athlete, that is a great off-time thing to do.
Yeah.
Just go nap.
Every time we go into the hotel room, every second that we get, Savannah's like, I want to go take a nap. And I swear she'll
recovery.
lay down.
It
But
is,
she'll
yes.
lay down. She'll lay down and she'll be asleep in 5 seconds. And I'll just hear her over there
Yeah.
breathing real loud.
Roomy. But yeah, I like to do that. When I really have free time, I like to go play with puppies. My sister has a puppy, so I like to play with her. Her name's Mabel. But then I go to Petland sometimes, and I just play with the puppies there. It's fun, but that's what I like to do.
I'm gonna go with napping.
Yeah.
I love to cook, and any type of cooking. Give me anything, I'll figure it out. I've always had a knack for that. My dad, growing up, I would watch my dad cook all the time, and kind of just carried over. I don't know. I just love cooking. It's satisfying to me. That's probably my biggest hobby.
That's something to really, really good.
Is that something you can maybe like
Share with the
see?
team.
Like no, like can you imagine yourself in like culinary school or anything? Like
I've been
that?
asked that question a lot by my family, and
Yeah.
maybe something to think about. I've never really just thought about culinary school, but when I'm asked about it, I'm like, I guess. I don't know.
So what are y'all's plans like after basketball, after college?
So I'm majoring in business right now, and I'm thinking I want to do more so like project management. That's what I think right now. I'm a little indecisive, so I'm not going to say for sure, but I think that's what I want to do.
That's fun. That's fun. It's okay to be indecisive. You're a freshman, but that time does go, so
Yeah.
it's good you have an
It goes
idea
by
though.
fast.
Well, I just changed my major from construction management to exercise science, like night and day, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that is too.
Well, as I was getting deeper into it, I was like, this is not really what I want to do. One class ruined it for me.
Yeah.
It was a plan reading class, actually, that ruined it. You got to flip. They give you about, 200 blueprints, and they're not specific on what exactly you have to look for.
Yeah.
So you just got to flip through all of them, and yeah, that class. But anyways, with exercise science, I've always been fascinated with the body and injuries. I've had quite a few injuries, and I've always, wanted to know what causes those and how to treat them. So either a athletic trainer or a physical therapist is what I've always wanted to be.
Okay, I could definitely see that.
Do you feel like your injury kind of influenced that because you went through that process of what it was like to go through rehab and stuff? You feel like that's what's influenced you to?
Yes. I didn't love rehab, but I loved being in there and seeing what problems everybody else had. Like if somebody has a problem with their back or something like that, just watching the trainers, adjust their backs, just stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like that's good confirmation on your interests, and so I feel like you're headed down the right path with that.
Thank you.
I like that.
Makes me feel good.
To me, I'm curious. So you're like an artist. So what do you want to do when you grow up?
Graphic design, which really is such a vague topic, but I mean, you can really do anything with that. You can have clients, you can join a team like MT, do graphics for a team. So honestly, I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of connections here at the university with just a lot of our sponsors and just higher up people that own businesses. So I could kind of connect with one of them and do something for their business. I don't exactly know yet, but wherever it leads me, I'm pretty confident that I can just kind of flow with it and go with that.
Do you want to do stuff with sports or just anything in general?
I feel like that would be fun, but honestly, like, you can kind of just freelance and do whatever somebody wants you to do, whether it's making a shirt for them, creating their website, a menu for a Mexican place, like literally anything. So I'm thinking something like that. But sports would definitely be like number
Well,
one.
you'll never run out of ideas. You can just jump from one thing to the other.
Exactly.
Oh, we get to see your artistic abilities all the time when you bring it into the locker room.
Y'all just don't know. No, like, y'all will laugh at me for, like, drawing 100 chipmunks, but I swear, like, those chipmunks are so stressful. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all are just laughing. I'm like, I got to get this done, like, because then you have to, like, put it into the computer and trace over those in Photoshop, and it's just like, y'all just see that, but
There's a
it's
lot
so much more.
Yeah.
But, you know,
more
it's
to
fun. It's fun.
Jilly, what do you want to do?
Well, okay, so I already graduated. So I got a bachelor's in science in psychology. Now I'm in my master's program, and so far the thought is like go into coaching, but it's not something that I'm completely dead set on. It's something I'm still trying to like figure out and fill out because I love sports psychology. I had all my psychology class, and I just took a bunch of sports psychology online and stuff, and that was something that really interested me. But it's also one of those things, it's like where I've played basketball so much, it's almost like it's what I've known. It's what I've known my whole life, and that's what I've always grown up around. And so it's like, can I even leave basketball completely, you know? Because I love the game, but it's like I love different aspects of the game. And so right now it's kind of leaning towards coaching, but we'll see.
Is coaching your focus in the major?
Yeah, so it's strategic. I'm in professional studies in strategic leadership.
Okay.
And so I've been doing that. It's a bunch of leadership stuff.
Well, I feel like you're on the right path with
Yeah.
the leadership. I mean, you're a great leader for us.
Thanks.
Savannah, do you want to get into coaching?
No. I don't think so. I'm just going to stick with my business.
What's your guys' favorite moment from this year so far?
I think for mine, it was in Fort Myers. How we did the Thanksgiving dinner. That was just really wholesome to me, just because, like, my family was able to go, but some of y'all's weren't. And I think just, like, all sitting down and realizing how much of a family, like, we really are and how grateful I am to be here. I think that was just a big moment for me that stuck and will stick for forever.
Yeah, we talked about that on our last podcast. It was just kind of something we mentioned. I feel like we all feel the same way about that.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the game. I'm going to go with the Grand Canyon game because the crowd was into it. Everybody was into it. Yeah. I love the energy of that game. It just really stuck with me.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think the biggest thing is to just kind of keep improving this season, whether that's from you or just as a team?
I think for me, it's just going to practice with, like, an open mind and learning from, like, the upperclassmen, y'all two, and everybody else. I think just learning the little things in basketball and outside of basketball, like how to navigate this life. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to get right now, and just taking away the coach's thoughts every single day.
She hit it. You hit it right on the head. Same thing. Just like she said, just coming in with an open mind and being like a sponge and just soaking in new information every day from you guys or the coaches, just anybody around that's willing to help.
Yeah, and I think the open mind's really important just because you know our coaches and how they are. They expect more out of us than we expect out of ourselves. And they're never going to let us get to a moment where, okay, you know, we're feeling pretty good. Like, oh, we just won these 2 games. Like, you know, maybe we figured it out. But, you know, they're always going to come in, like, the next day and just like, okay, you had a good week last week, but that don't matter this week. Like it's a new week. You got another game this week. And so I think keeping an open mind to that also is like knowing that they're doing that because they're trying to hold us accountable and not let us get complacent where we're at and get to where we want to get to and like farther than we have been in the past.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for tuning in to episode 4 of the Glass House Hoops podcast.
Join us here at the Murphy Center on Thursday against Sam Houston and again on Saturday against Law Tech.
And don't forget to tune in next week for episode 5 of the Glass House Hoops podcast with our men's basketball team.